The Colorado Monument is one of 4 monuments or national parks along the western border of Colorado. This monument is located just outside of Grand Junction, and it is west of the Colorado River by a mile or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what part of the monument you're at. It's located in the northeast corner of what is known as the Colorado Plateau. So obviously this is the beginning of the plateau, and as we being the steed and I, head further west, I suspect we will see a lot more of structure of this nature. This was designated a national park, national monument in 1911 by President Taft. And currently the road that I'm on is called the Rim Rock Drive. It's a little over 23 miles long, but it takes a good fair amount of time to go through it. That is the Redlands Valley, basically, overlooking you could just make out the river down there. Just make it out. It's a neat climb. Interesting structure. This is very similar to Garden of the Gods in that it is sandstone, primarily. Different kinds of sandstone, but nonetheless sandstone. It's sitting on a base of granite-like material. But the red sandstone, again, comes from pink quartz that was blown in. It's a wind-driven sand, thousands of feet deep at one time. Later on, it was covered by water, and that sandstone is pretty much the capping sandstone on the spires that we'll see. The capping fluvial sandstone is resistant to erosion, so you'll see that it forms a kind of an interesting little cap. And it's not nearly as thick as this red sandstone is, obviously. Interesting, the colors, the purple, the red, each color marks a different time zone. And this was lifted as a fault, earthquake fault, earth movement fault. And as this area lifted, it lifted up, and most of the material stayed horizontal. But in the process, it rolled vertically the companion material to the east. And in that rolled area to the east, there are dinosaur fields that are found. So, needless to say, if they were to dig into that same stratus area, they would find dinosaurs, petrified wood, things of that nature, as they were, if they were to investigate this monument, but that probably won't happen. This is one of 3 tunnels. This is the first of 3 tunnels. They are carved into the park. Pretty neat. Unfortunately, my cheapy cameras didn't do a very good job of balancing out the white light quickly. But you got to go with what you have. It's interesting driving up a drive like this, no guardrails. But you know, it's really not nervous situation. It's a very comfortable drive. It's interesting there how few people are here. But this is October, and there had been rain earlier in the day, and they're predicting more rain, possibly snow. Maybe that held off a lot of people. Made me a little bit nervous. So this is an automotive tour primarily, though I did stop and take photos of certain areas, not really knowing what I'm looking at. The ranger station was closed, so I couldn't get any brochures or maps to carry along with me. That would have been helpful, but you know, it's the COVID thing, and as a result, had to kind of wing it here, but that's fine. So the first part of the park, when we come in, we are routed around the Fruta Canyon, and it's an interesting view from there. Kind of turns you around a little bit. You're not sure which direction you're really looking when you look at the canyon, but let's see what we see here. This is a picture of the highest point in my trusty steed. This is one of the highest points. And this is the Fruta Canyon. And off in the distance is a mesa. And that is miles away. And I think travel time like an hour and a half. It could be part of the Grand Mesa, but I don't know. What do I know? You know, I could be working north-northeast, and the mesa is more south and east. We should see parts of the mesa later on, because it definitely is visible from the Colorado Monument. This structure on the left, this is called the Saddlehorn, and this is the Saddlehorn picnic area we'll be turning into here, and we'll be able to see some pretty nice spires here. Monument Canyon, a pretty good view of Monument Canyon with a whole pile of spires, and possibly the Sentinel Spire. Now, interesting, right here, that this chop out, this breakout of erosion from freeze thaw, very similar to how arches are built. And I wonder if these spires weren't arches at one time. I mean, they're so typical of a fallen arch, basically, where the bridge is broken. This is a nice view of Monument Canyon. All those spires. Pretty neat. I don't even know their names. They've got names for each one of them, but yeah, good luck. Something about kissing cousins and, you know, whatever. And then there's the cliffs here. And I think in one of the shots there was actually a shot of the Book Cliffs, but yeah, you could tell by me. And I think this is the Sentinel Spire. Pretty sure. Could be wrong, but I think that is it. Beautiful though, isn't it? That's it for this part 1 of 3. Come back. Thanks for watching.